But when they looked, the napkin that lay about his face, which was the only opening, the body had left the rags. It had left the wrappings. And so in order for Jesus' body to leave the wrappings being dead out of a hole within the actual the exit point, it was the glory of God that he was resurrected. In other words, in order to look into this particular thing, beloved, it's deeper than what you think. For example, he divorced his body from those grave clothes. How did he do it? Itself, the grave clothes, and Jesus himself defied the laws of nature and science. He defied the laws of what exists. One way that he defied it, he had to defy it biologically in the sense of study of biology, because his death had to deal with his body, and biologists study about the body. You understand? But in God's mind, something was going on in relation to the body so that he would be resurrected. Praise the Lord. It had to defy the law of chemistry because there were chemicals, you understand, that were reversing and going other direction, and other things were going on. And so it defied the laws of the chemists. It defied the laws of mathematicians because of the fact that how in the world can you take somebody that had the wrappings that were hardened around the body, but yet out of one hole, out of the face, he divorced himself from the crypt of his death. Praise the Lord. He defied the laws of microbiology because there were microorganisms when a person dies and the body decomposes little by little. There's organisms that eat up certain things in order for the body to decompose. But the organisms had to give up what they ate in order for Jesus to come up out of those graves. You don't like what I'm saying. Praise the Lord. Let me get the mic. Praise the Lord. Praise the name of the Lord. Praise the Lord. So it was the glory of God. The glory of God that Jesus had actually been taken out of his present situation. Praise the Lord. Jesus, no doubt, was God's Frankenstein, if you don't mind me becoming a little contemporary in the expression. See, man tried to make a man that came from the grave. But Jesus is the real Frankenstein, not to, disrespect, but to just say that man is always trying to do something that God has already done. So what they did, they came up with a Frankenstein monster. He said, I'll take a piece of a leg, a piece of, and we'll make a man live. But God is the one that displayed the true glory of a man dying and coming back to life. Praise the Lord. So Jesus here, if you notice now, Jesus is giving us a little touch of something that is very personal in this 17th chapter of the 4th and 5th verse. Notice now, beloved, let's go to the 4th verse again. We are, and it's in red letters, meaning that Jesus is the originator, the proclaimer, the individual that initiates ownership to these statements. Ain't just anybody talking. Jesus is talking. So as Jesus is talking, he gives a personal testimony, a personal insight. Matter of fact, he's praying right now. He's praying. Now, this prayer that takes place with Jesus is a prayer that is selfish. Praise the Lord. It's selfish because the majority of time that Jesus spoke, he spoke in prayer to pray for others. He spoke in prayer to pray for the sick, to raise the dead, to feed the homeless, and to feed the hungry. He spoke to do things for others. But this particular prayer pastor, he spoke about himself and God. In other words, he said, I don't mind the ministry. I appreciate the fact that y'all appointed me to be pastor, but every now and then the pastor needs to steal away and talk with the master too. So Jesus took a moment here in the 17th chapter in the 4th verse to talk about him and God. I'm going to extract myself from the congregation.